My father was a white-collar criminal. Technically, he was a lawyer and a real estate developer, but he was a far better criminal than he was a lawyer. And it was really sad because he worked really, really hard stealing other people's money, but he had nothing to show for it. When he would get money that he stole from people, he'd throw it away and lose it in some shitty real estate deal. And we didn't live a lavish life. We did live in a nice house, but we didn't have Cadillacs in the driveway. My dad wasn't wearing Armani suits. He didn't even have a boat. Most white-collar criminals have a boat, a cigarette boat, a 30-foot yacht. He didn't even have that. Now, you probably expect that a white-collar criminal would only steal, lie, and cheat from strangers. But not my dad. He was a little more sophisticated than that. He actually got enjoyment stealing from his family. Now, the first one that I was aware of, now I'm 20 years old, going to Columbia College. And the first time I was aware that my dad was screwing over my family happened around that time. Now, my dad was a lawyer, but he was really a bad lawyer. He didn't collect the fees. People would run up bills, $5,000, $10,000 to him. And some of them would stiff him, but other people would pay him in different things. Like we had one client paid him in a Buick Skylark, and somebody else paid him in a timeshare, and then somebody else gave us a trampoline. So one of his deadbeat clients decides to give him jewelry. They owe my dad like $5,000, $10,000. My dad comes home with a necklace in a paper bag. Now this time, my mom isn't getting any checks from my dad, and so she's desperate for money to run the house. So she takes it over to the jewelry store, and she comes back, and I'll never forget this. She's so excited, because I tell her that the jewelry store is on the phone. They've called her. My mom picks up the phone, and this is what I hear. I see excitement, like she just got a phone call from the Illinois State Lottery telling her how much she won, to utter shame. And she's like, really? The jewelry's been stolen? Well, I had nothing to do with it. I got it from, it was Bob's. He got it from a client. You got to bring the police? Can't you just throw it away? Now, my mom, none of us were built to do prison time. But this, my mom could go to jail. I mean, the law says 2/3 of possession is a crime. She could go away to jail. She could do prison time for possession of stolen merchandise. My mother wouldn't do well in jail of all of us in the family because the woman she was not good with structure. In my house, these kind of things, because I never knew what happened to the jewelry, we never talked about it again. About a month later, my mother discovers that my father has forged her signature on the title of the house that we're all living in so he can get a loan. To get the loan, he had to forge the signature of my mom. She finds this out, and now she's going to lose the house. So she's got to hire her own lawyer, and she's got to declare bankruptcy. In the meantime, all the real estate vultures are circling the house. So as we look out of the house, we see Lexuses, we see Mercedes, we see BMWs stopping and taking pictures of our house. It gets so bad that a guy, a realtor, knocks on the door in the middle of the day and tries to force himself into our house. Luckily, my sister doesn't let him in, but she's so upset about this because the guy told her that the house was under foreclosure. Now my parents, they don't tell my sister what foreclosure means, and so she's upset. The worst thing that happens, the worst thing, one of the worst things my dad ever does, is he takes $1 million, over $1 million, from a German family. He loses all the money, but he tells them for years that Donald Trump is going to buy them out. To buy some more time, he agrees to take their daughter, Katja, from Germany and bring her all the way over to the States so she can live at our house as a foreign exchange student. My dad doesn't tell anybody in the family what's going on. So we are fucking pissed. She comes over, and she's living with us. And you know what? Had he been honest like a healthy criminal, and had set us all down and said to us, hey, this is what's going on. I just stole $1 million from this German family. All right? I don't know what to do right now, but this is what we're going to do. This is my plan. I've thought it out. We're going to have her come over and stay here until I can figure something out. In the meantime, you kids just be nice to her and pretend like nothing is wrong. He didn't do that. That conversation never happened in my family. Instead, she came over and she lived with us. And my sisters, who were both in high school, one a sophomore and one a senior, they didn't want her here. They were pissed off, so they were mean to her. They were so mean to her that I had to step in and broker a deal to get her removed from our house and moved to another house in the neighborhood. I didn't forget the holiday part of the story. I didn't forget it. That Christmas morning, we're all sitting around the living room. We got a big 20-foot tree, so the whole world knows there's nothing wrong in the Carrane house. There's a fire in the fireplace. Both my brothers are back in from college. And there's a tradition in my house. There's a couple Christmas traditions, but one of the Christmas traditions is this. My mother goes out and buys a couple presents to give to the kids from Santa, while my dad takes care of the stockings. He fills the stockings. And since high school, he would fill the stockings. And he really liked doing that. As much as he liked stealing from people, he liked the stockings. And the stockings were better than the gifts, because he would fill it with candy, like peanut M&Ms, and he would deodorant and a bar of Irish Spring soap and stuff for shaving. And he always put in a crisp $100 bill. Like those ones that you get from the bank, like they look like someone's ironed them. We would get that every year. But not this year. I got an orange, and I got 6 razor blades, Gillette Track 2 razor blades, and no $100 bill. And I was really angry. I was really, really upset about that because I counted on that $100 to get me through the rest of the year. And the thing that really pissed me off about this is all the money. He stole over $1 million, and he could not put $500 away for his kids. To me, that is a crime. Thank you. Now, the second tradition in our household was my dad would give us a fireside chat at Christmas time. Something inspirational, something to lift our spirits, something to inspire us, to take us through the beginning of the new year. Well, I was pissed. I was out the fucking $100, so I couldn't listen to the beginning part of the story. And finally, after I let go of my resentment, I heard my dad say this. With a very straight face, with so much conviction, he said, kids, the most important thing is to be honest. What the fuck did you just say? And even in my 20s, I knew that was fucked up. Kids, the most important thing is for you to be honest. And in my family, we never took pictures. Because when you come from a criminal family, you don't want any evidence, right? We didn't own a camera. But that phrase that he said was like the perfect snapshot to capture that Christmas. The most important thing is to be honest. 3 months later, he was indicted. for mail fraud and embezzlement. He was found guilty and sentenced to 33 months in prison.